Tonight's conversation might make a lot of people uncomfortable because Coach Prime may have accidentally exposed the real problem with modern relationships. And honestly, guys, I think deep down, a lot of people know he's right. They just don't want him to be right. Again, let me repeat that. They just don't want him to be right. See, let me tell y'all something. Old school relationships are dying. Marriage rates are dropping. People don't trust each other. Everybody's emotionally exhausted. Social media got everybody comparing. Dating feels like a business deal. And somehow, guys, the more connected we become online, the less connected people feel in real life. And then Coach Prime comes along on this podcast. Old school mindset, structure,
Mhm.
discipline, leadership, clarity. And people are reacting to it because modern relationships may secretly be missing exactly that. Y'all, let's get into this thing right now.
Hot beat, smoke it, drink it down. With your voice, it got you around. Feel the vibe, we're set to roll. Press play, let's lose control. Sip a drink and smoke will swirl. Join the convo around the world. Relationships we dissect slow. Current events, we let them flow.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Y'all know what it is. It's Smoke Something, Drink Something podcast. Tonight, we got a big topic. And of course, y'all know I can't do it alone. I got short introductions, but I gotta introduce my A1 from day one. Let her introduce herself. Tell y'all where y'all can find her on the socials.
Thanks, JB, for having me back. Yeah, this is gonna be a good one tonight. Real people having real conversations. But you guys can find me on TikTok at Rondeezy underscore RHONDEEZY underscore on TikTok.
Y'all know, man, I always appreciate when Rhonda is with me, man. We talking about Coach Prime tonight, guys. And let me tell y'all something. Tonight, we are asking one simple question. Has Coach Prime actually exposed the real problem with modern relationships, guys? And listen, I already know the comments gonna go crazy tonight, so y'all hit that like button immediately. Drop where you're watching from in the comments, just like we always do. And if you want your comment read live tonight, guys, drop a super chat, and we're gonna try to respond in real time. Now, for all of you guys who hadn't seen the clip, I knew I was going to talk about this the moment I saw it. Let me show y'all the clip from the pregame network. Let me share this screen real fast because y'all gotta see this, man. This is what's gonna make it all make sense. Let's go over here. Rhonda, let me know if you can see this or not.
Yeah, it pops up.
Okay.
Hmm.
Let me see if we can let me see if we can make it a little bit larger for everybody. All right, guys, here we go.
Happy. How about that? I'm happy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I deserve to be happy. You deserve to be happy. Chico, you deserve to be. We deserve to be happy, man.
Say it again, Coach.
We deserve to be happy. We deserve to
Amen.
be happy. We worked our butts off, and we working our butts off mainly to bring others joy. That's the blessing of the occupation that God gave us,
Yeah.
and we deserve in return. We deserve to be at peace. Number one, but
Mm-hmm.
happy. It's hard to be happy and not at peace.
Yeah.
And it's hard to be peaceful and not happy. That
Yeah.
don't make sense. Yeah, those two
Yeah.
intertwine with one another. But
Yeah.
I feel like I'm at a wonderful place. I'm doing a Dougie right now. You know, like if you can see inside of me, I'm doing a Dougie right now. I mean, inside. So she's doing a doggone thing. She 1 foot back, jamming like a young prime in Atlanta.
That's right.
Yeah, she got the hammer on the end. She eyes Debbie right now, but she
Yeah.
doing her thing, man. I ain't lying. The ball is right here. She's rocking the thing.
Yeah. She's,
She's rocking the thing. Yeah, yeah, she's doing her thing.
Getting out that back pedal like Prime.
Yeah, oh, like a young Prime too.
Young.
Yeah, you know, she shot, so she already low at the bump. You know, she already low. She already shot. She already low at the bump, so she gonna jam, man.
They say low man win.
She gonna jam. She gonna jam like Teddy Riley. Jam.
Oh, jam.
Whoa, jam.
They gonna clip this. Hey, you brought it up, Coach. Everybody.
All right, guys, let's do this. Let's do this real fast because. All right, guys. Now, Rhonda, before we get into the discussion tonight,
yeah,
you got to give me your thoughts on this
one. Look, I love it. How can you not smile? Right when hearing that clip of that partial interview, I would love to hear the whole thing because it's if you know the Dougie, if you don't know how to do the Dougie, you done heard of it, and you know that's happiness right there because you know it's just where it is, and so I'm happy for him, but I'm also happy for her, like for whatever she's doing, right? Like you know, I like that he can be real about his relationship, but I also hope they can protect it as much as they can, if that makes sense.
Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all this. As much as I've been following Prime, and if y'all been on my channel, y'all know I do a lot of videos on Coach Prime. But guys, when I saw this, again, guys, if you've been following Well Off Media and all that kind of stuff, you can see something different. And I think that's why I keep telling y'all Prime gonna go to the college football playoff when a man is at peace. When a man is at peace, everything in his life changed, right? So the first time I saw this, I'm like, he is unapologetically happy. Now, here's the deal, guys. Look at what he said in the beginning, though. Because I bring joy to others through my profession. Notice now, guys. I bring joy to others through my profession. And we're going to get into the podcast a little bit. Now, he said, we deserve to be happy. And I think this is the one thing that both modern and traditional relationships are missing. He said, because of the love we make possible through our profession, we deserve to be happy. And one of the things that happens, guys, is this. Carucci is so complimentary, but also know how to not steal the spotlight from Prime. That look at how this man is talking. She ain't there. Right? Like he talking to his boy. This is the pregame network. I mean, he got access to
somebody's wife. You let somebody's wife not be there.
Y'all hear what he said? He said, man, look, you brought it up, Prime. Let's talk about stepmama. The kids calling her stepmom. Some of them. The kids are calling her stepmom. So, guys, that lets you know there's a different level of honor and respect with Carucci. So I just wanted to put that out there. I wanted to get Rhonda's thoughts. And then I was just giving y'all a chance to hear my thoughts on it before we get into the structure of the podcast tonight. Guys, if you just tuning in, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe, guys. Follow us on all the platforms, man. We are out there in these digital streets, guys. So I appreciate y'all rocking with me, guys. Let's get to my first point. Modern relationships lost structure. And before people get emotional, I'm not only blaming men, I'm not blaming only women. I'm saying that the structure itself disappeared. Back in the day now, relationships had routines, expectations. Here's the big one: sacrifice, leadership, and patience. Now everything is instant gratification, emotional reactions, social media validation, and social media battles, and keeping options open. Coach Prime represented the opposite of that with that statement. Guys, ain't no room for nobody to come in there. Ain't no room. And guess what, guys? It is not tied to a marriage covenant that we know of. As far as we know, they're not officially married. Coach Prime represents discipline, standards, direction, and certainty. And that's why people react so strongly right now to him. Now, if you're in the chat, man, guess what, guys? Get into the comments right now. Do y'all think relationships today have too much freedom, or are old school expectations unrealistic? Y'all about to go crazy Rhonda, what's your thoughts on that first point?
I don't even know what her age is.
38, just turned 38, if I'm not mistaken.
So
Y'all
she's a
correct me
millennial.
if I'm wrong, chat, but I
She's a
think she just
millennial.
turned 38.
She's a millennial. I think it's I think the emotional intelligence she has to be with somebody like him while also being who she is,
Mm-hmm.
right? With her profession. And notice they both are professionals.
Mm-hmm.
They both have their own thing going on, which I think is huge in relationships, that you both have something to do
Yes.
outside of the other. Um, I'm not a man, but I can only imagine what Coach Prime does feel knowing that she stuck beside him no matter what when he was going through.
Mm-hmm.
I think that makes a huge difference. But I think they have a nice mix of traditional and modern in their
Mm-hmm.
relationship. That's how I see it. Is that somehow they've made it work. And you said it earlier, like they let each other be who they are. They let each other be who they are. So if you could do that and still be good with you, hey, it's all uphill from there. Now, it's not to say that you're not gonna have some issues at some point in time, but at the end of the day, if you can let that person be that person, and you know that y'all are here for each other, and keep the main thing, they're gonna be all right. But I think they have right now they have a good mixture
Man, look,
of
look,
modern intimacy.
and look, guys. This man ain't nobody holding nothing up against his head to say all the stuff he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
That man asked him an open-ended question. He gave the specifics, right?
And they said you bought them up. They said
Yeah, you brought him up.
you bought them up. Yes.
You bought Prime bought her up. And
Mm-hmm.
by the end of this man was so compelling talking about this woman. And that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Does that man or that woman adore you? Because by the end of that clip, look at what they said. They were singing Teddy's Jam
Yeah,
by
everybody.
the end of the clip. And
Yes.
what did the other podcast host said? Man, they gonna clip this. And what's the first thing I just showed y'all? The clip,
That clip.
right? That's exactly how it's
Mm-hmm.
supposed to work, guys. I'm telling y'all, let's keep this conversation going, because when we look at this, when we look at this, I think old school is looking for hope in their relationships. Notice now, I think old school is looking for hope and happiness, and I think new school is looking for structure, because nobody ever gave it to them.
I was
All
about
they
to say,
got was all they got was an iPad and a phone. They never had structure, so they think they want to be free, but in essence, you can't. If you want people to be free, okay, being free is the hardest thing you're gonna ever do. That's why they say freedom is not free. It come with a cost. And a lot of the new school relationships don't want to pay the cost to be free. And I think a lot of the old school relationships just want to be happy and hopeful again. Because we see our teachings and our traditions and our upbringings, there's no longer anybody propping them up. Our generation is getting introduced to a new way of living, because the things that were propped up when we were growing up are no longer propped up. What do you think, Ron, when you hear me say that?
Oh, absolutely. But you think about how many relationships for the people that are old school um, just need a little tweaking, right? You don't need to do something all elaborate or anything like that. Maybe just a
Mm-hmm.
little bit of tweaking, which means openness, right? At the end of the day, like being open to whatever may be going on. And I do believe the traditional part can be and thrive, but you got to be open to be able to do like
Mm-hmm.
other things in your relationship. So it doesn't mean that everything is always going to go your way, but at least you know that it doesn't have to be a fight or argument all the time. But getting somebody to do something with you or
Mm-hmm.
for you, or doing something just because. Um, New school, I think, has more room to do stuff
Mm-hmm.
just because,
Mm-hmm.
but nothing's really just because you got social
Yes.
media. You always gonna do something for the gram. You always
Yes.
gonna do something for TikTok. Like, you know what I'm saying? You always gonna do that. But I think if you sprinkle that into a traditional relationship, you'll have that happiness, that joy. That's what I'm gonna call that. Happiness is fleeting. That joy that Coach Prime has
Bro, that's some serious joy right there, guys.
in this moment.
Part of me want to play it again, but I ain't. My point to you guys, my point to you guys is that old school can learn from this and have some
Yeah.
hope, and new school can learn from that and have some structure. And I think that's the first thing I saw.
But does new school want structure though?
Yeah,
Does
they
new
do.
school want
Yeah, they
structure?
do. New school is all about putting on a hard outer shell, but deep
Hmm.
down they craving for some security. Anybody who tell you they want,
why are you describing cancer? The
well,
zodiac.
anybody screaming freedom, anybody screaming freedom wants security, and anybody who's saying they want to be locked down actually want to be free. That's just how it works. We just wired like that. Let's get to number 2, guys, on the list, because I want to get through this quick. As the old Baptist church pastor say, we ain't gonna hold you long. Social media changed relationships forever, guys. I know it seems like we talk about this all the time, but you can never get enough of this. Old school relationships requires emotional isolation. Okay. You focus on your spouse, your family, your local environment, and you try to funnel all of your needs through that one person. That isolation, and you putting pressure upon pressure upon pressure through that isolation, because exclusivity and isolation kind of go hand in hand, but there's not one person who can go hand in hand and do everything for you that you need. But now everybody has access to attention, validation, old flames, temptations, fantasy lifestyles, and emotional escapes, even though they physically never left the building. And people underestimate what that does psychologically. Modern relationships are competing against algorithms. And the crazy thing is, guys, when you think about it, it doesn't get much more confusing for new school relationships. Rhonda, come on in there and talk about how social media relationships may be harder, or they just expose what was already there. Jump in there, let me know what you think.
Well, I think it's a little bit of both, because when you just started talking about traditional relationships and the isolation, I immediately thought about Jesus, like waiting to be crucified, right? Like he had to be by himself, right? Even though the disciples were around, he still had to go in that secret closet himself to do all of that. And our tradition, since we're old school, like sometimes they say you got to draw back, like you gotta keep it by yourself. He trying to get your attention.
Hey, she cooking, y'all. She cooking.
You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's where we get that from, right? God talking to you. He trying to tell you something. He wake you up at 3:00 in the morning. He trying to tell you something. You know what I'm saying? And so it's not until you get older and you understand, like, no, sometimes you may have gas. Sometimes, something may be on your mind. And it ain't always God trying to get your attention. And so, but with this new school, though, because there are so many trappings out here, I think that's the part where you could get caught up into, there's something better over here. And it may be something better over there. But sometimes you got to focus. You know what I'm saying? Like I was reading something that said, you never tell someone how much money you make. You always tell them, I make enough to stay focused.
Or I got enough left over after the bills are paid.
Oh yeah, right. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so because people, it ain't not, it's not about necessarily knowing certain things. It's about how they could use it sometimes to keep you, to keep you in check. And so like I do think new school relationships are harder to a degree, but I also think that they're so used to being socially isolating that's what messes up their relationships. Because otherwise you wouldn't have such an epidemic of unaliving situations.
Well, and crimes of passion, let's just call them what they are, crimes of passion.
Yeah.
Right? Crimes of passion ain't nothing but a clash of traditions and a clash of unmet expectations.
And there's lack there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think, I'll be honest with you guys, I think men can look at what Coach Prime said, because in essence, guys, everybody trying to capture what was old. I don't care who you are. You're trying to capture what was old because that's where your comfort is. Your comfort ain't never in the new, right? The new feels like you white knuckling it. Everybody's trying to capture what is old. Why do I go to Cracker Barrel? I want to feel like I'm at grandma's house. I want to feel like I'm getting grandma's cooking, right? Well, now grandma 42. Grandma ain't cooking no home cooked meals. That's why Cracker Barrel, you got to remember, guys, trying to capture tradition is the hardest thing you can do. Think about it. Coach Prime is revolutionizing college football with the way he markets himself and the way he controls the narrative. College football can never go back to what it was. NIL has made it so college sports can't go back to the way it was. I don't enjoy watching the draft no more because the boy's already rich. It used to be watching the draft, man. We used to watch families' lives change forever. Now you sitting in a house that's already millions.
And less emotion. Less emotion.
We have zero attachment to a lot of these players now because they getting paid. Y'all got to understand. I see social media people. All right, here's the deal. I see social media people making so much money, and if all of a sudden transactions kick in, relationships are going to be hard to stand because most of the relationships are on a fuel called emotion. Most relationships are not on transactions. And I think what a lot of people don't understand is both men and women are out here operating transactionally now. Now, it's not about trying to find a emotional connection with somebody. And that's one of the things where I think what we saw with Coach Prime, you saw a man who was genuinely happy with the person he's talking about. And here's the best part. I don't even need to hear what her perspective of the relationship is.
Oh my God.
I only need to hear it. Why do I need to hear it? Once the man speak like that, Ron, remember what I've been saying on previous podcasts. When a man say he out the game, that's where the relationship real, right? I don't even need to hear what Carucci has to say about this relationship. That man spoke and ain't nothing else to say. And when three grown men singing Teddy Jam at the end, they all felt it.
Yeah.
They all felt it.
There is a lot of validation when your man is speaking highly of you.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're right. That's when a woman can just be quiet. Like you don't have to say anything. Um and I don't know how many women could take it without saying anything. Right? And so it's but I think in their case, if I have to say that the man is the prize, I will give it to Coach Frank. I love me some Coach Frank. But I will give it to him in this particular case because it's he not only did he speak volumes about her, their relationship, and himself, like separately, all three of them separately. He spoke highly, but all combined it all together. He probably, as you like to say about just being a Cowboys fan, adds 20 years to your life.
He does.
He added some years to their relationship.
Absolutely. And look, guys, I'm gonna say this to you before we get into the third point. Guys, I ain't gonna hold you on this. One of the things y'all gonna find is this: Coach Prime getting people in his DMs all the time. Carucci probably getting people in her DMs all the time. We didn't watch this girl with Chris Brown. We didn't watch her with Victor Cruz. And I'm not trying to demean that. What I'm saying to you, because Coach Prime has been through multiple relationships too. But this girl is fit into the family. This girl is fit into the family and fit into the operation. She has fit into the family and fit into the operation. And what we never realized is when she went through the bladder cancer situation with him, and we saw her in the hospital with him, we didn't even know they were together. And guess what? Even though we know they're together now, she still is playing the same role. You don't see her trying to break away from the group to get her own individual deal. And I think that's the most impressive thing. The hierarchy in the Sanders family has not changed, and she has not caused any disruption or distraction to the Sanders name.
Though. That's a testament to Coach
That's a testament to all of them.
Like for you to have somebody that compares all his children, that he ranks all his children. And like they still good, and then she comes into the fold, like you said. Yeah, that's huge.
Man, look, that's the whole point. We talk about social media. I know she getting hit on. I know he getting hit on. I know they being tempted all the time with what you would call different offers. And man, you look at how and I don't care what's happening behind the scenes, guys, but publicly, man, that thing is a fortress right now. I don't see anybody penetrating that relationship. So when y'all see me saying Coach Prime gonna win the Big 12 and go to the college football playoff, when a man at peace, you cannot underestimate him. You cannot underestimate him. And when he's at peace and he's talking that highly of her, I don't need to hear nothing from him. Because for a man to talk like that, for him to come out, this man is wearing Depends. This man that came out of cancer treatment, all this kind of stuff, bladder gone. Right? Let's be honest, man. And that girl was there and she chose to stay. Man, look, at the end of the day, Ron, that's a big one for me. Y'all, let's get it. Go ahead, Ron. Go ahead.
But I'm gonna say this one less. And on the flip side of that, these relationships now, especially a lot of the new school ones, people leaving you because somebody liked your photo.
Absolutely. Mad because somebody liked.
Gone. I'm out.
Absolutely.
I'm out.
Social media, a lot of people don't understand. With social media, you can't stop the temptation now. You can't stop the arrows. They coming. All you can do is you can build such a fortress around that when they come, man, I ain't interested. I am not interested. And I think, guys, that's the difference, right? Y'all get down in the comment section and let us know what y'all think about this. Because building that fortress, you got to build a digital fortress and you got to build a physical fortress, because those arrows are completely different when you become under attack. Okay. And I think what Prime is doing is Prime is still the star of the show. And I think she understands that. And low key, I think she likes not having that responsibility. Because what makes a woman be soft? What makes a woman be soft is when she don't have to have the responsibility of a man. Let's get into number 3, guys. Y'all get down in the comment section. Let us know what y'all think about that. Here's a contradiction nobody wants to admit, guys. Modern people want freedom, but old school security with it. They want independence. They want options. They want attention. They want excitement. They want likes. They want to go viral. But now they also want loyalty, consistency, protection, and emotional safety. Let me repeat that. They still want loyalty, consistency, protection, and emotional safety. Now, we old school, we call that having your cake or wanting your cake and eating it too. And a lot of these things naturally conflict. That's why relationships feel harder now. Here's the deal, Rhonda. What do you think when you hear her say that?
It's the Bible says too, right? Like you can't serve two masters, right? Like you're gonna love one and hate the other, right? And so we get into this thing where you want to try different things, but then you also can't. And then that's how the work wife and the work husband come into play, right?
Yes.
And then that's how the girls trip come about, the guys trip come about. Just trying, because again, people are searching. And so when you want to have those relationships where you want to be successful, you want to thrive, you want to make sure that it's going how you done told your friends or done lied to your circle about how great it is. And then you have somebody like Coach Prime coming out with what he's saying about his relationship. It does make you wonder, how am I going to make mine look a certain way when you should just let it be. Let it be what it is, instead of trying to force it into being something else. And so I think at the end of the day, when you are going with someone on your journey, whatever your relationship is, because again, you would hope for, I guess for most people, they would want to be married, but sometimes you just may be together. Yes. And that's the other. I hope that they stay just like they are.
I hope that there's no marriage on the horizon either. I think what's making it work is they don't have the pressure of the traditional covenant. I don't think there's anything wrong with tradition, but I think the covenant is what puts the pressure, because now you bring government in. And once you bring government in, the expectations change. I hope they stay exactly like they are. And guess what?
Have you seen her? Is she pretty active on social?
Oh, she's very active on social media. Oh, but she's active with what she was already doing before Prime. He has not stopped her. He has not stopped her or changed her brand. But she also understands how to shift roles. And a lot of us try to keep the same role no matter where we go. But your role is different based on the environment you in and the person that you with. Right? If I come home, I go from man of the house to son in the house. Right? And there's a different way you got to roll. It doesn't mean you lesser than, you just understand your role. When I come visit you, okay, this Rhonda's house. I can't act like it's my house, right?
No, it's still your house.
But that's the difference. I can walk around and do what I want to do in my kitchen, but when I go to the restaurant, I got to sit there and be served. I can't go back in the kitchen and make my own plate. And I think that's where people are struggling with. Karrueche has maintained her brand. Coach Prime has enhanced his brand, and he looks completely happy. That I think that health scare really got his attention, and now that's why he's talking different. And I think that's why he's operating different with the Colorado program, guys. And guys, I gotta appreciate. Get down in the comments. Let us know what you think, guys. Always get in the comments. Let us know what y'all thinking about with Coach Prime on this situation. How Karrueche rocking on her individual brand versus when she's in the role of girlfriend or fiance or even wife. I don't know if they've gotten married and just hadn't gone public with it. But that's what we want y'all to get into the comments about, because I can tell, man, some people gonna be triggered in these comments tonight. Why? Some of y'all ain't gonna listen to the message because you hate Coach Prime, and some of y'all ain't gonna listen to the message because you love Coach Prime and you ain't listening to the details. See, that's the way it goes, guys. When Coach Prime is such a polarizing figure, and he has the people who support him or hate or don't support him got this emotional connection that they don't understand how to still look at the logic and the message that he's putting out. There's a reason why that man puts a motivational quote up every day. He still wants y'all to understand the psyche behind his approach. Let's get into number 4. Guys, we're going to go marriage just in case, because we don't know if they've secretly married or not. And I don't know. So like I said, but some people have said it. Some people have said they're not. That's why some people call her stepmom. But again, marriage used to mean stability. Marriage used to mean stability. Now marriage has to compete with social media, girls' trips, vacation, dopamine, nightlife, aesthetics, and content creation. People don't just want peace anymore. They want constant stimulation. And that's where it becomes exhausting. Now, Rhonda, check this out. And y'all get down in the comment section, let me know. Can relationships survive without excitement now? Does social media ruin marriage? Would old school relationships even work in 2026? Jump in there, let me know what you think. Y'all get down in the comment section.
Yeah. Now say that first one again. You said the social media.
So can relationships survive without excitement now?
Oh, survive
Did
without excitement.
social media ruin marriage? And would old school relationships even work in 2026?
I think I'm going to go with the middle one first. With
so did social media ruin marriage?
Ruin marriage. Yes and no. And so I'm gonna say 65-35. 65-35. Yes, 35. No. I think if you know how, because how do these couples, right, that do social media, these content creators that do social media together with their skits, and somehow they found a sweet spot. And we don't, like, again, we never know what goes on behind closed doors, right? But how do they make it work to where it's like we're engaged, right? And then when I look at the Real Cigar Jeff's page with him doing his whole umbrella of smoke something, drink something, and all his entities he has under there, whether that's the cigar line or the Jeff Sunday service or what have you. It's like somehow y'all make y'all thing, y'all relationship work, like in some way where it benefits y'all's relationship. And then of course you have the other people that maybe just one person in the house is on social. So I do think you do have to have that collaboration of where the both of them are all in, or maybe one is up there more than the other, but they're still in it. And then you just got to set the boundary for those who just don't want to have no parts, of it. And so I think that social media can ruin it, but I think if you find it sweet spot, it'll be
before
good.
you move to the other two. I'm gonna jump in here.
Yeah.
Did social media ruin marriage? No. Church and family ruin marriages.
No, that's true.
Social media was there to pick you up when church and family did what they did to you. Because let's be honest, guys, had social media not come out, the divorce rate wouldn't be up. Social media was there to catch you, right? To help you relaunch yourself. But church and family ruin marriage, right? Let's be honest, guys. Social media is an amplifier. Social media didn't cause anything. It just exposed everything. And it gave a lot of people a landing spot. It gave a lot. That's why people don't mind getting divorced now. Man, look, you ain't feeling lonely when you get divorced now. You go on social media, let them know you getting divorced. Man, your DM's loaded.
DMs will be loaded. People get hot when you don't respond. Ain't nobody got time.
And guess what? It ain't nothing but church folks and family members in the car. He wasn't no good, no way. She wasn't no good, no way. I ain't like him anyway.
Well, they want to take you back to 97.
Hey, 97. All my TikTok people know about 97 now. I ain't gonna bring up 97. So, Rhonda, can relationships survive without excitement now? That was
absolutely not. No. Mentally, they can't. Mentally, our brains are so wired that the first thing we grab in the morning, and that's if you even turn it off, because I turn my mess off at night. That phone is the first thing you grab. You ain't rolling. Well, I don't know, but I'm not talking about you. You don't roll over and kiss your spouse when you wake up in the morning. That phone is in your hand.
Yes.
Like first thing in the morning for a lot of people. So the excitement is coming from the phone, and then your spouse is just, and girlfriend and boyfriend or whoever is just a little extra. Like, oh, okay. Oh, I forgot I got to deal with this real person over here.
Well, it's funny you say that, Ron. I think the excitement comes from social media That's why they say the person you with better be the person sending you the most reels, because the social media reels are actually what feeds that dopamine addiction. Because let's be honest, we all got it. That's why if I say, man, I just need to get some peace, I just want to relax, I don't want to do anything. Not doing anything feels scary now, right? What's going on? Something got to be going on. If I don't hear from people, it used to get taught back in the day. You got taught no news is good news.
Yeah.
Well, now, even if you don't have no news, if you don't have some constant stimulation, you freaking out. So can relationships survive without excitement? Rhonda's right. They can't. What we got to start recognizing is the excitement may not come from the person you with.
Or we need to use another word, right? Or do we need to look up excitement to see exactly, like what it means in the general sense of the word? Because like I promise you, it's people freak out if they leave their phone at home, right?
Yes. So we know that excitement now doesn't come from the person. The excitement comes from the person's phone. Okay, guys, and it's okay, because don't try to compete with the person's phone. Don't ask to see the person's phone. Don't ask for the person's password. Don't ask to share locations. Don't do all that, guys, because that phone is what's keeping a lot of relationships together. And if you disturb that relationship of a person's phone, now all of a sudden, guys, your relationship cannot survive, right? So when the third question was, would old school relationships even work in 2026? It's tough, which is why we're talking about Coach Prime right now. But I think the one thing was helping them is we don't know if there's a traditional covenant in this relationship right now. But if everybody's treating it like that without the burden of the legal positions, that might be the key, guys. Because I think a lot of people want to be married. They don't want to necessarily be legal, because there ain't no stress in divorce if no legal was involved. What if y'all just break up? See, we call it divorce because it's a legal term, but all divorce is a legal breakup. Well, what happens if we don't have a formal relationship and we break up? That trauma ain't there. Jump in there, Ron. Let me know what you're thinking.
Well, I guess for me, when you just said that just now, like, are there things in place, like in North Carolina, we have common law. Now, I don't know how much that's honored or how much is, looked upon as being something real. But is there something people could, like, what if they do have something in place, even though they may not?
Absolutely. They can have an agreement between themselves that's already worked out if they break up. And I think if that's the case with Prime and Karrueche, and they're not going to get formally or legally married, I think that's the best thing that can happen for relationships. Because look, I don't care if Dion got somebody else. I don't care if Karrueche got somebody else. It ain't affecting how they feel about each other. Yeah. We keep making everybody on the same level. That's why you can't get mad at everybody who shoot they shot at the person you with.
What I'm impressed with is how he's handled the exes or
get ex-wives. Oh, absolutely.
Like, like that right there. Yeah.
He handling it. I'm watching a video today on social media. And the first wife on the couch sitting next to his mama.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Deandra's mama.
Well, his mama don't play either. Look like
mama don't play. Now, obviously, there's some issues with Shador Shiloh and Shalimai's mom, Pilar. But for the most part, guys, I'm watching the dynamics of this family, and there's a mutual respect there. And I think what's happened with Karrueche is she understands mutual respect. And I hate to come across like this, but I don't know if that's her Asian descent or what. But at the end of the day, it's like she understands that I'm with a very influential man, and I'm not going to do anything to disturb that. And I hate to use the S word, but she comes across as very submissive.
Oh my gosh.
And what I mean by submissive, Rhonda, in this context, is understanding. Because guess what? She knew Prime laid it out for her before they even went a step further. And if it's laid out and you know the dynamics, all of a sudden that changes everything. But
so many relationships would be great if people knew what it was, but it's important if he laid it out. Because I think most women will fall in line a lot of times. But
yeah, y'all get down in the comment section. Let us know what y'all think about point 4, man. Because ultimately, we got to figure this out. Because I think this dopamine thing is real. Because I'm a guy who can't relax. If I get 2 or 3 hours of uninterrupted sleep, I'm happy. That's the equivalent of 8 hours of my old way of sleeping. You see what I'm saying, guys? That's the whole point. In my line of work, you get 2 to 3 hour naps You don't ever get a full 8 hours. Go back and listen to
That's the original. That was the original way.
that was the original way. Go back and listen to
Yes,
Steve Harvey.
you don't sleep
Steve
that
Harvey tell
long.
you he can't sleep. Steve Harvey tell you he can't sleep 8 hours. Man, he said, you know how much I'm responsible for? Right? And when you get responsible for something, your sleep pattern is going to change. And those around you sleep pattern is going to change because your mind is always racing. Y'all get down in the comment section and let me know what you think. Now I want to get into segment 5 because this is the one I saved for last. Because a lot of us don't want to give Coach Prime his props, but realistically, Coach Prime resonates because he represents certainty. Mm-hmm. And all the stuff we've been seeing, this man has remained steadfast in how he approaches stuff. Words ain't changed, actions ain't changed, and a lot of us forgot what certainty looked like. And let's be honest now, again, well-off media controls that narrative, but at the end of the day, his messaging ain't changing, his approach ain't changing, his love for God ain't changing, his love for people ain't changing. When you look at it, no matter when they were winning 9 games or when they won 3 or 4 games, ain't nothing changed, guys. And that's why I think that certainty is rare now. What was Carucci looking for, even in the midst of a cancer battle? Certainty. What are your children looking to you for? Certainty. What is your spouse or girlfriend looking to you for? Certainty. And one of the things y'all got to understand is everybody ain't ordained to be the certain one.
That's right.
Everybody ain't ordained to be it. Some people ain't made up to be the certain one. And clearly Coach Prime has that certainty. Why am I saying that, guys? Always sounds confident. Always is intentional with his speech. Very disciplined and very clear and concise with his messaging. All modern dating right now is full of confusion. That's why people are gravitating toward this Coach Prime energy. Rhonda, what do you got to say when you hear me say those statements?
Well, he's always been like encouraging, either you're drawn to him or you're not. He's one of those people, either you love him or you hate him. Yep. I fall on the side where I love him. I look forward to what's going to come out, what he got to say. But I also know we're wired. People's minds are wired to be negative. It's wired that way. So you have to really be like on it. And I think that's probably why there's joy there, because he's intentional. Now, I feel like he was intentional before the diagnosis with the bladder cancer, but I think he's even more resolute now with staying the course. It doesn't mean you don't get a little shaky with it. You don't get a little shaky, but it does mean like he knows what's on the other side, and I just got to keep pushing forward. And she's along for whatever he's going through, because with his faith being so strong, he gives them just enough to keep holding on.
Yep.
Now, that's how I feel about that. I think she knows how to be the woman for him where he is now.
Yeah. I say, guys, look, that's what it really comes down to. So as we move into this final segment, guys, the real issue may not be men or women. It may be that modern culture rewards individualism while relationships require sacrifice. And people don't want to sacrifice anymore. And one of the things when we heard that clip with Coach Prime is that we saw a man who could have easily just taken that chance on that podcast to say, nah, we're not going to talk about my personal relationship. That's personal. I want to talk about something else. But no, he leaned into it, guys. He leaned into it, which means he sacrificed and talking about something else he could have been talking about for recruiting, talking about NIL, talking about the number of brands that he represents. But he sacrificed and he talked about her. And guys, sacrifice ain't sacrifice if it's somebody you enjoy. And it's clearly he enjoys this woman, guys. Coach Prime may not have all the answers, but I think he accidentally exposed something very real about modern relationships. And honestly, guys, I think a lot of people feel it. And even if they don't want to admit it, guys, at this point, and I hope this clip goes viral, because a lot of people ain't seen it, especially if they're in a relationship. Every relationship needs a model to look forward to. If I got a mentor in my profession, my relationship needs a mentorship as well. And I think that's one of the things we are missing, guys. Now, if y'all enjoyed tonight's conversation, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and drop in the comments, do modern relationships need more freedom or more structure? Rhonda, before we get out of here tonight, give us your closing thought.
Man, I'm happy for him, man. I'm happy for them. So if you're going to if you really want your relationship to work, or you trying to get somebody to be in your life, just see how much joy you're bringing them. But you got to bring yourself joy first before you could even think about giving it to somebody else.
Absolutely.
But get that Coach Prime joy.
Man, that's what we're gonna have to start. That's what we're gonna have to start calling it. That Coach Prime joy. What's the old gospel song? Joy, joy, my sweet joy.
I do not own the rights.
Yeah, I don't own the rights to that music, and I just butchered it because I know they sounded a lot better than what I just sounded. Down in my soul.
Yeah. Sweet. Yeah. So say Vic.
Enjoy. Hey, look. Man, look, that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. My closing thoughts are simple, guys. If the man has the ability to speak that highly of the person that he's with, that's the most secure relationship you can ever have, because you know what relationships get attacked? The relationship where the man does not talk the way Dion is talking about Carucci. You ain't got to worry about no physical, because a lot of people gonna say, yeah, I can tell by the way he talk, I can tell by his mannerisms, I can tell by his demeanor. Ain't no cracks in that wall, man. Ain't no need to try to fight that. Remember, guys, the scripture say Satan roaring, going around like a roaring lion, seeing who he can devour. You ain't looking for the healthy gazelles. You're looking for the weak ones. And what this just showed me about Dion and Carucci is ain't no weakness there. Ain't no light creeping through there. I don't see no openings. What I'm seeing is a healthy traditional relationship that's thriving in a modern world. And y'all know what it is, man. It's Smoke Something, Drink Something podcast. I'm the real Cigar Jeff, man. Y'all make sure y'all follow me on all the platforms. Get down in the description, get down in the comments, man. Let us know what you think. Rhonda, let them know where they can find you on the socials before you get out of here.
Find me on TikTok at @RhonDeezy_, RHONDEEZY_. And you can find me on Instagram at RNBLNBT.
Man, y'all make sure y'all go over there on TikTok, man, and follow Rhonda, man. Make sure y'all follow me on all the platforms as well, guys. And until next time, we gonna holler.
Pop it, smoke it, drink it down. With your boys, it got you around. Feel the vibe, we're set to roll. Let's play, let's lose control. Sip a drink and smoke will swirl. Join the convo around the world. Relationships we dissect slow. Current events, we let them flow.